Here's Brody Brazil.
So I came across this earlier today. It's the interaction between Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers and print reporter Jim Matheson. He's been covering this team literally since their very first day in the NHL, even before that, I believe. So he's been around a long time. He's 72 years old. And the backstory on the Oilers right now, they've lost 6 games in a row. They haven't been playing very often. They got their schedule shut down, obviously dealing with COVID for a while. But they have not won a hockey game since the 18th of December, a month essentially, and they've lost 6 games along the way. So they're reeling. This is a press conference that gets cut short essentially at the 3-minute and 10-second mark. I guess I could just play the ending and break that down, show you the ugly part, but I feel it's only best to start from the beginning, give you the whole sense of these 3 minutes to kind of get the build of what happens here, kind of break it down as we go. And obviously I'm interested in this as a pure hockey fan, as a sports person, but also somebody who works in broadcast media. Like this interaction, I think there's a lot to take away from it. There are some insights that I have and some perspectives that I hope we can all learn from moving forward. So let me rewind the clip and play it from the start.
Another day of practice, and you guys haven't had a lot of choice, I guess, except to practice a lot with the delay in the schedule. Maybe sick of isn't the right word, sick of practicing, but is it, a grind after a while to practice all this without playing a lot?
Okay, that's not Jim's question, but I think that's a fair thing to start off with. I think we all obviously know the answer. Athletes love to play games. Practices are just kind of whatever, especially for a long period of time. So, obvious question, let's see the answer he gives.
Of course, I think we're all excited to kind of get back into a rhythm a little bit and, play every other day or at least play a couple games a week. It's a very, weird schedule the last month and a half. So I think we're all excited to get back into it.
Okay, just beyond whatever the quote there was, and I did listen to it, but look at body language. Rubbing his head, looking away, kind of lost a little bit in his thoughts. I don't know what just happened to him. Maybe he had a meeting with a coach. Maybe he had a bad practice. Maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe there's family things going on. Does he want to even be here right now? Probably not. Most players don't when their team is on a stretch like this, but I can't even speak to what he's going through, but it's clear. Put that clip on mute. Just look at his body. He's not really invested in this, but I give him respect. He tried with answer number 1, so let's move on.
I guess obviously with the tough go here, a lot of you guys have been asked about just maintaining positivity or resilience or whatever you want to call it. What do you do to do that, and are you better at it than you maybe were a few years ago?
Are you better at losing than you were a few years ago? And I know that's not necessarily what the question was. I get it. That's not how it was phrased, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's how Leon Draisaitl interpreted this, right? You guys have done some losing like this before. Do you know how to do this? Are you good at this? Like that's, oh yeah, we're great at it. We are professionals at losing. So again, I don't know what we're aiming for here. It's not an unfair question, but sometimes the response you're looking for is dictated by the quality of the question you ask. Let's hear his response.
Well, yeah, I think so. I think we've all grown up a lot. We've learned these things. We've been through it. So obviously not the situation that we wanted to be in, but that's part of it. Every team finds himself in situations like these, right? So we have to dig ourselves out of it. And I thought the last two days of practice were really good. Good energy. So we need to make sure we carry that into the game.
Just remember, every media session players do like this is available for the GM to watch, the coaching staff to watch, teammates can watch it, friends and family. With the internet, social platforms, every single availability is put on video. It's recorded like this. It's instantly played back over and over again. So accessibility different than it ever used to be. So that's why these guys are so cautious and so bland sometimes with what they say. Let's go to question number 3.
Leon, what's your level of anger at the way things are going now? I know you're frustrated with
where you were at the beginning of the season to where you are now. Are you angry as well as frustrated?
Interesting. Now we're getting into the psychology of losing. And I don't know, is there a difference between anger and frustration? Does Leon interpret that the same way? That's not an unfair thing to ask. It's pretty deep. It's pretty off the wall. We'll see how Leon responds to that. Okay, the laugh right there says, what? Let's see what he says.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's frustrating. Like I said, we're not where we want to be. Anger, I don't know if I would call it anger. It's more frustration, but that's obviously something that you have to put behind yourself and go back to work.
Okay, so kind of short answer there. I just think he didn't know what to say, explaining that anger is a totally different thing than frustration. We're not talking about somebody did something to him or his team. They just lost games. So frustration, yes. Anger, I don't know. And again, continuing to look at the body language. This look, there's some face covers like this. There's a lot of head down, a lot of rubbing the head, looking away. You can kind of see where he's at already. So kind of read that as we continue to ask questions.
Did you think...
This is Jim again with another question. So he's following up for the first time. He asks a couple questions in a row here.
The last 2 years, you've been second in your division, and you showed a lot of maturity, but now you've lost 6 in a row twice. Did you think your team was past that?
So your team seemed to have taken some steps forward in recent years. Is that now one step forward? And this year, because you've had 6-game losing streaks twice, is that 2 steps back? Let me just remind you again. What is he supposed to say knowing that everybody's watching this? This is a public conversation. It's not an interrogation. I've used that phrase before. I mean, we know these media sessions are like this. A bunch of people sitting in seats or on Zoom these days, a person at a podium firing away. And it's not the most natural thing. When in real life do you ever sit where Leon Draisaitl is sitting right there? You don't. Look at the facial expression right there. Doesn't really know what to do with that question. But let me rewind it so we can digest this all over again.
It's more frustration, but that's obviously something that you have to put behind yourself and go back to work.
Did you think over the last 2 years you've been second in your division and you showed a lot of maturity, but now you've lost 6 in a row twice? Did you think your team was past that, of not getting into these long losing streaks?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, first time that he's visibly frustrated. Like, if you couldn't read all the subtle signs, I mean, like, sure, yeah. I don't want any piece of that. And again, the reason he doesn't is because he doesn't want to throw people under the bus. What's he supposed to say? Yeah, I thought we were better as a team, but apparently me and the guys around me, we're not. In fact, you know what? We should probably turn in our paychecks. We didn't deserve them this last month. Nope, you're right, Jim. You got us. No. and let people have that opinion, but why would he want to submit to that?
Lots of...
Okay, so you heard Jim go, I wasn't ready to ask you another question. I was still hoping you were going to elaborate on the last one. He doesn't. So let's start this again.
Lots of reasons for why the Oilers are playing the way they are in terms of winning and losing. What do you think is the number one reason for the losses now? Is there one thing that you, in your own mind, you're saying, we got to get better at that?
Did you see the head shake right there?
Losing?
Watch Leon's head shake. He's like, what? Watch.
What do you think is the number one reason for
He's like,
the losses now? Is there one thing that you, in your own mind, you're saying, we got to get better at that?
I mean, if there was one thing, and to the point, I mean, there may be multiple reasons why the Oilers are struggling, but for it to be spelled out that way, and then if there was just one thing to fix everything else, what is it and why aren't you doing it? Hence this body language right here. Hence that. So you can kind of understand that it's about to get uglier, but here's where it's clearly deteriorating.
Yeah, we have to get better at everything.
Okay, And I'm not here to say that was a bad question, but sometimes, again, the quality of the question dictates the response that you're actually going to get. The thoughtfulness, the flair that comes with anything interesting. Like, a lot of times that's only achieved by asking a question that's maybe specific, that has some depth, that kind of opens up the human element. Or also this, understanding that just today, you're not going to get it from Leon Draisaitl, no matter how hard you try. You push, you poke, you prod. It's just not going to work today.
Would you like to expand on that?
Nope.
What? Let's play that part again in real time.
The losses now. Is there one thing that you, in your own mind, you're saying we got to get better at that?
Yeah, we have to get better at everything.
Would you like to expand on that?
Nope.
Okay. That was pretty bold. That was pretty cavalier to ask somebody, would you like to expand on that in that fashion? I would have left it alone right there. I mean, I would not have gone that far in that fashion, but I would have stopped right there. That's not where it stops.
You can do that.
Well, okay. It doesn't stop there because now Leon opens up the door, kind of throwing a jab back. So let's just make sure we understand this.
Yeah, we have to get better at everything.
Would you like to expand on that?
Nope. You can do that.
You know, in retrospect, would you like to expand on that? Maybe it could be phrased in a different way, but clearly you were not going to get it. So I don't know what he didn't give you anything. So how can you expand on nothing? You know, sometimes if it's a clarity thing, I'm trying to really make sure I get this right, make sure I quote you properly, make sure we understand you correctly. I get it. But when it's zero and you say, would you like to expand on zero? That kind of invokes this.
You know everything.
Why are you so pissy, Leon?
Whoa! Whoa! We just went from, would you like to expand on that, to why are you so pissy? Using the word pissy. Now, in normal everyday to day life with somebody you know or a friend or a family member, okay, that happens. But in a professional situation like this, and clearly, I bet Jim has been asking Leon questions since day one of his NHL career, right? So there is some history here, and I'm not saying these two won't have a relationship ever again, but something led us to this point, not just today, probably over time. But I think anybody you've known for that long, I'm not sure that you have that interaction with them if they're just a professional colleague like this.
On that?
Nope. You can do that. You know everything.
And I have to say, I've mostly been hard on Jim here, but Leon probably also crossed the line there too. He was asking for this interaction to get a little bit heated, right? And I guess he could have just said, hey, you know what? I think I'm done. Bye. He has the right to do that. I would not have been mad with him if he did after, would you like to expand on that? Nope, I really wouldn't. And you know what? I think that's where I'll end it today. Sorry. That's it. But I think Leon wanted this to get deeper.
Why are you so pissy, Leon? Why are you?
Huh? I just can't, again, you don't hear that. You don't hear that from the media to professional athletes. And again, I wouldn't expect it from a player out of nowhere to be saying that to a media member. Why are you so pissy asking me these questions? I mean, what if Leon, at the beginning of this, what if he flipped the script and said, so Jim, publication or subscriptions for your newspaper, they've gone down in the last 3 years. And I think you're playing a part in not helping your organization out. What can you do better to help maybe your newspaper sell more ads or sell more papers? Jim, your posts on social media, they just don't gravitate. They don't have the same traction that others do in your industry. Your following is not terrific on social media. That's a big deal. What are you doing wrong? Jim, why are you so pissy at my response? Just flip the script for a second. I know we're used to asking athletes these questions. We're used to handling it this way, but everybody's human here.
You're so pissy.
I'm not. I'm just answering you.
He said it again. Did you hear that? Huh? And he said, why are you so pissy for a second time?
You know everything.
Why are you so pissy, Leon? Why are you so pissy?
I'm not. I'm just answering you.
Yeah, you are.
And then he doubles down with, yeah, you are.
Or I ask you a question.
whenever I ask you a question. So now to me, it seems like this had something to do with today, but mostly to do with the past.
I gave you an answer.
Not very good one.
Okay, but Jim, who's to say? Did you not? I mean, what were you expecting? Did you not know what you were getting yourself into in this situation with the team, their recent month? I mean, look at the look right there. I mean, how did you expect this to go?
Okay.
Well, I have one more for you. Leon, you show your...
Okay, it could have ended again right there. Jim could have said, all right, you know what, we're done. Jim could have been done. But Jim decides to say, you know what, I'm gonna actually throw a punch before this is over.
Why are you so pissy?
I'm not. I'm just answering you.
Yeah, you are. Whenever I ask you a question.
I gave you an answer.
Not very good one.
Okay.
You can hear somebody in the background saying, okay, one more or maybe we're done. Watch.
Well, I have one more for you. Leon, you show your frustration on...
And here we go, right? Is this going to be a legitimate question? Is this... what are we expecting here? What are we doing? What are we doing? What's the game plan here?
Okay.
Well, I have one more for you. Leon, you show your frustration on the ice last game against Ottawa. Is that a good thing when you show it so the other team knows you're frustrated?
Yeah, it's a great thing, for sure.
Now he's basically questioning strategy. Leon, is it a good thing that other teams know they're getting to you? You could see his sarcasm. Yeah, it's a great thing.
What? So the other team knows you're frustrated?
Look at it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah. So that's the interview. Sorry, Leon.
Sure.
I'll put you on a better a still frame there as I just give you some closing thoughts. Look, sports can do better. This press conference situation, I've always had a little bit of a weird feeling about it when it's just rapid fire at one person and they're all digging. But it's my industry and I'm not here to knock people that do it. Like, this is where we learn more. This is how we do it. It's not anybody's fault. This has been tradition. I'm wondering if tradition needs to change a little bit. Certainly sometimes it's a lack of good questions. I think other times it's just the setting, the environment. It's unnatural to humans. How can we do better? I don't know the exact answer, but I'm here to call it out and say, is this Leon's fault? Is this Jim's fault? A little bit everybody's. It's just the situation. Some people actually like this. They like the drama of people, snapping at each other. I just think we can do better. And I don't know, maybe you took something away from this. Let me know what you think in the comments section below.